Okay, folks, good evening. Welcome back to. My desk looks nice and orderly there. Unfortunately, it's a cluster. Actually, it's too close now. I can't even see. Let's see if we can. I can pick some of this stuff up. Come on, wake up the screen. I think we can do that. Thought I could do it. What's going on? Let's pinch out. There we go. Yeah, I got all kinds of stuff here. Let's put some of these colors away. Well, we don't need to put away U.S. Field Drab nor Iraqi Sand. Everything else can pretty much go away. Good old chocolate brown. We don't need it anymore. Not for this vehicle. So we went ahead and sprayed our commandeered vehicle. I may end up putting some free French markings on it yet. I haven't decided. Whether or not to do that just yet. So, yes, somebody in a nice loud vehicle. Sound like a moped. What's up, Justin? Put these things away so I can get out of my own way. Always happens. Always happens. You have things strewn about and end up working in a tiny corner on my desk here. So we went ahead and sprayed this thing. We do need to epoxy this thing back together. And here's the base for it. So we can paint that as well. And the flat coat pretty much took anything flat off of it. Now, yeah, it's not glued. This is how the windscreen turned out. I guess it looks okay. If I don't like it later on, I can always repaint it. But that's actually a suggestion I took off of somebody off of the Flames of War site. I think it looks pretty good. So. Looks better than it was before. It was way too bright. And this thing was actually, it all kind of started off kind of by accident, so to speak. This is overall, it's colored in, it's painted, it's colored in. It's a color that's called German dark green camouflage. I think it's probably a Luftwaffe color. A color that, splinter camouflage on like a Messerschmitt or something like that. But it's not very bright green at all. And it just has Dunkelgelb sprayed over it. And the light tone of Dunkelgelb. Even though it looks like it's white, it's not. You just got some 90 by 52 millimeter black bases for 50 for $12. 52, that's a weird size. Why 52 and not 50? Is it for something specifically? Like matches up with a particular something you already have? 52 is a weird size. It's almost like a 50 but it's tapered. $50 for 12, 52 by 90. Okay, 52 by 90. 50 of them for $12. Black bases. Oval. Okay. That seems like a good deal. That seems like a good deal to me. Sometimes when you really don't pay a lot for stuff, there's a reason you're not paying a lot for it. It's garbage. So, well, I got some interesting news, but I don't want to tell it twice, so I got to wait until Nordic's on here. And the only reason he's involved is because he's done it before. But I finally heard back from Noble Knight Games, and I submitted many things over to them. Not many things, but this is how it does. And actually decided on a whim to go on YouTube and see if there was like a walkthrough there was like a video of like somebody that maybe sold stuff to them. And there's a video of somebody that goes into their warehouse. Holy smokes, that place is like a city. That's a big place. I wouldn't want to work with nerd burglars all day long. That'd be a little too much. But that place is pretty cool. And it looks like it's pretty well organized, and it'd have to be, or you might spend, a month looking for something and not find it. Okay, so let's epoxy some of this stuff. Doing it for Flames of War, Desert Panther. You're making the world's first Desert Panther. Although desert, panthers in the desert probably would look pretty good, but that would have to drag on a lot longer than it did. The only way you'd see panthers in the desert probably if the U.S. didn't join the war. All right, let's pop this thing. Actually, I can probably put some on there. Okay, let's get the epoxy down. So while that's drying, we can do the base, and then we can flip-flop again. Go ahead and get the X-Acto knife and take this stuff off. Man, I just got stuff strewn everywhere. Oh, is this upside down? I didn't check it today. Let's see. We're good. Desert scene, okay. Where is it? Back here? Yeah. I got this thing like 20 years ago. This one actually was kind of expensive. It's a Johnny Lightning. Johnny Lightning stuff tends to be in the pricier. They usually have separate rubber tires. Well, they look a lot better, Now, I don't know where the hell you get those things at, since there's no more Toys R Us. I guess you could brave and go to the Wally World if you were so inclined. I was talking to somebody about that. Other than the grocery store, I pretty much Amazon everything else. I don't go to stores and look for things, and they don't have stuff, And then you get attitude when you go to a store and like, screw you, I'll just, Do I ever use cork sheets on your bases for flooring? No, cork's really expensive here in the States. You know that. The only cork that's inexpensive is if you go to IKEA. And I have some of it here somewhere. You can get, what's the stuff you put hot pots on? Trell, it starts with a T. It's a cooking thing. There's no reason why I would know that. Trivet. Cork trivets. You can get 3 of them that are like this big. They're half an inch thick for like $5. But no, thin cork is just really expensive here in the States. I like cork though, it's a cool material. It's a happy material. Let me see if I can take this out without damaging it. They use cork a lot in the UK because it's cheap there. I suspect the reason why is, I have my suspicions why. My suspicion is all cork comes from Portugal, and the English and the Portuguese have been buddies since the 100 Years' War. They kind of have like this little treaty thing going on, and they're probably favored trading partners or something like that. And I suspect that's the reason why. And wood's really expensive because, they cut all the woods down to build their fleet, which, their wooden fleet. That's my uneducated opinion. Yeah, the IKEA cork is. If you go and look at those how to build war games terrains and stuff like that that are done by Citadel or Games Workshop, they always use like cork, cut it into pieces and make like walls and stuff out of it. And it's like, man, you can't afford that here. The other exclusively English item is this stuff called rubberized horsehair. And I just got a notification. I don't know what the hell it is. I don't want this thing to restart my effing computer. One new notification. What is it? Antivirus did not find any threats. Yeah, okay. Well, I don't go to questionable websites on the computer. I do those on the phone. I don't use the computer for at home for much, and I'm kind of okay with that. I use it for the programming here. I use it occasionally to play a video game. That's about it. I'll do, surfing for like paint schemes or something on. But that's about it. This needs to fit like this. I want to scratch none of this up, please. No scratchy. Cork is fun. It is. It's cool. It's a really cool material. It's the bark of a certain tree. Pretty cool. I saw a lot of people at the last show that had made terrain out of pine bark. Lots of people that did that. And it looks pretty good. It doesn't work for everything, but it works for many things. Pine bark terrain. Okay, let's put, I'm guessing, man, this stuff dried like I'm fast as crap. Like really fast. Like too fast. This can be kind of messy because we're just going to cover this up with the bottom. All right. I use epoxy to glue everything. I'm a big fan of epoxy because even though it dries quick, you don't have to worry about it. It has a little bit of flex. I hate super glue because as soon as that cracks, it's useless. So this has some flex in it. Okay, so I'm gonna let this thing percolate. This is what it's gonna look like on the stand. Part of me likes it not on the stand, but I like to be consistent. And I just like being consistent. And it allows me to put some grass or something on there. Make it look like it's part of something. Okay, let's grab this dry brush. And it's really hard. We can get all that extra, all this stuff out of it. Perfect, that's soft. Yeah, so I like epoxy a lot. When I was a kid, epoxy wasn't worth a damn. If you ever buy epoxy, don't buy the kind that's a syringe. Because you've got one material, it's got the resin and the hardener, and you supposedly, push them out and both push them both, and supposedly it's the same amount comes out of both of them. It doesn't. One of the two is thicker than the other. I want to say it's the resin is thicker, and you get more of the other one out. And it's not so much that it won't bond, because I think if you're off by like 20%, so in other words, if you have 20% more of one than the other, this is totally unscientific. This is just from experience of using epoxy a lot. If you're off by like 10% or 20% or something like that, it's still going to bond. But you're going to have more of one material than the other. So imagine if you got a syringe and you're pushing it in, what ends up happening is you end up pushing it in way more than the other. Then to straighten it out, you've got to like try to push it back, and it's just a mess. It's just a mess. So definitely get those two. This stuff, I'm a big fan of DevCon. As a matter of fact, I had this at the local hardware store. Nordic, perfect. I got something for you. I got this at the local hardware store freaking 10 years ago. This stuff lasted me forever, and the last batch actually started to go bad before I ever used it all up. It was like $11, and they didn't have it anymore. So I Amazoned this. I wanted to get exactly the same brand. But I'm a big fan of that. Not for everything, but, for stuff that's, have to glue white metal or dissimilar type of things that are made of resin, because it's gap filling too. Okay, Nordic, so 1 to 3 days they're supposed to get back to me on what my trade-in value is going to be over at Noble Knight. And it took them 5 days, but they did get back to me. You have Gorilla Glue syringe one, and yeah, the delivery mechanism isn't much cop. Yeah, Gorilla Glue. I remember when that stuff came out, my dad was a big fan of it. I think he just liked saying Gorilla Glue. I hear Gorilla Glue and I think, is that something that like the big ape would like glue stuff together with? Remember that old commercial they used to have? I used to think it was Samsonite, but it's not. It's actually American Tourister. It's this commercial we had in the 70s where, they were trying to sell luggage, and they put this piece of luggage in a cage with an ape. It was actually a person in a gorilla suit, which was a big deal when I was a kid. That was gorillas and people in gorilla suits was a big thing in the 70s and earlier. I think they probably just filed a complaint, and all the gorillas didn't want to be misrepresented that way. That's probably why they can't do it anymore. But it was actually American Tourister. Yeah, they got back to me. Was the offer pretty decent? So here's what I didn't like. I didn't like how long it took. Yeah, I think they just told me how much it was going to be in credit and how much it was going to be in cash, but they didn't tell me how much each item was. So I can't go through there and go, well, I'm not going to give this to you because you're only giving me 50 cents over it, which is okay. How many? I hope the problem is they didn't give it back to me and said all the items that were on there. So hopefully I kept myself a copy of what I sent them, because I have no way of. Yes, here it is on Tony's game list. It's open. I think it's like a dozen things. Why won't it open up? Actually, it's quite a few things. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. It's 20 items. I know some of them aren't worth very much. But just to kind of give you an idea, it was, how many games was it? Yeah, I wish they would have told me how much each item was, because I may not want to give them the Avalanche Press Great War at Sea Volume 1 Mediterranean. That was like their first game that they came out with, Avalanche Press, in the mid-90s. And I don't know if I'll give that one to them. I don't know. But honestly, it was more than I thought they were going to give me. Had to ask specifically for a breakdown when I sent a couple of items. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to bother. I don't want to waste another 5 days. Or maybe I'll ask them while I try to find a box for these things. Just to give you a breakdown, they offered me $150 in credit or $120 cash. So I'm going to take it in credit because they've got enough Plastic Soldier Company to keep me happy. Yeah, I've bought stuff from them before. And I think they said that they have, if you order $150 worth of stuff, hopefully it includes stuff you use credit on, you get free shipping. So I'm definitely going to, order one more thing so it kicks me into the free shipping. But, the reality is all the stuff I sent them are stuff that I haven't used. So it's worth my time. If you send them a bunch of stuff and they said, okay, here's $20, I'm like, it's not worth my time to put things in a box and send them to them, to go through all that trouble. But for $150, yeah, it's probably worth my time. There's some toys I can get for $150 that we could do unboxings on and stuff like that. But, part of me wants to like pick up a couple of board games that I'm really fond of. But I'm like, when the hell am I going to play them? $150 free shipping. They have a lot of stuff you can use, so it's a good deal. Yeah, they have a lot of stuff I can use. A lot of stuff. I don't feel like, the only reason I would take cash, is I'd take that cash and then turn around and buy 3D printed built French buildings. That's what I would do with it, But I don't feel like giving up $30, And luckily, my life doesn't depend on it. It's not like, I can't order the stuff anyways. I wouldn't be spending $150 on, more tanks, Maximize revenue and do video unboxings of the games before you send them off to Noble Knight. I don't know. That is a point. A couple of stuff I don't know jack shit about, I don't know. I may do some of that. And a lot of this stuff, I don't know how much it's worth. I mean, I can see how much they're selling it for, but there's some things they're out of stock on. And probably the things that I have that I actually spent money on, I make it a point to not give up money if I can avoid it. Well, remember, worrying about stuff and doing shit and packaging it, to me, costs money. My time is worth something. So, I've got 4 of the items are weapon supplements from Phoenix Command. Phoenix Command is a super anal retentive role-playing game system that was like almost impossible to use back in the late 80s. And they had some World War II supplements that I had picked up. I'm sure I'm losing money on those. But, buff. We don't need buff, damn it. When I was making my own rules. I wanted just some, there was no internet. So I couldn't just pull, data off there. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll use these kind of never done anything with them. I have a weapons data supplement, one on tanks, one on regular tanks, one on heavy tanks, and one on anti-tank guns. Never done anything with them. They're basically brand new. I bought them used, probably through eBay. And, another one is a set of rules that I never did anything with when I was trying to find a set of rules called Under Fire, World War II Small Unit Tactics. Never played it. Never going to use it. I've looked through it. And I'm like, this isn't for me. I probably paid $15 for it, So another one is the Arquebus game from Men of Iron from GMT. I got it for $10. I saw it at a flea market. I got it for $10. I was like, how can you go wrong? Figured, oh, this will be some ideas for doing Renaissance stuff. I'm just not there, you know. I'm tired of it taking up space, you know. I might take a picture of the scenarios and the information on them, and then pass that on. What else? What else is of note here? A couple of books of Osprey, because they have Osprey books. All the stuff that I have really is in good shape, you know. The worst thing I have is anything that is punched, you know. So anyhow, at least one of those supplements is going for 30 pounds. Yeah. I don't know. They don't look like they're worth that much, but they got a lot of data. Anyways, I may ask them for a breakdown and then realize, oh, one of these things is like 50 cents. Well, I'm not going to give it to you for 50 cents. But I'm only going to do that if I don't slow down the process. It took me a long time to hear from them. So today at lunchtime, I'm like, let's see if there's a video of somebody that sold stuff to them. And while I didn't find that, I did find a video where somebody did a walkthrough of their facility. Holy smokes! That place is big. Like big. Like big. Like big. That's bigger than most university libraries. And it looked like it was pretty well organized, but that was a cool video. Wouldn't want to work there. Let's be too many nerd burglars. But pretty cool. Pretty cool place. All right, I'm going to do something I don't normally do. I think we're going to do white with it. I'm going to put no, I should do black because the bottom of this is in black. I'm going to put a black dot on the center part of these tires, and I'm going to drop it so I can find out exactly where the center spot is, and then dig the stuff around for that. I just don't want to do a video about something I don't really know anything about. Rick, you guys know he has his own YouTube channel, which is about 7 times bigger than mine. Which is fine. He's been doing it longer. He's into more stuff than I am. He does a much better job of explaining games than I do. Much better. I can't be good at everything. Jeez. And he did a video like 3 days ago that has a shitload of views already. I couldn't believe it. But again, it's an item that caters to a lot of different people. And that's what it is. I have extremely niche things. I don't do this video stuff to make money. I just do it because, well, I'm already going to do it anyways. I might as well share my information with other folks that might be on the fence or something about it. That's really the only reason I even do it. All right, let's see if this works. Well, didn't go on that tire. Because that joker moved. You motherless goat herder. Okay, cool. All right, now we got those spots. We'll flip this upside down. I don't mind if there's a little black dot on the bottom of that. It's going to get covered. And let's rinse this. Is it feeling good that you're using something that you haven't used in 6 years, finally putting it to use? I know I like it when I do stuff like that. You basically just assume, oh, I'm never going to do anything with it. And then you do, and then you're like, whoa. All right, how wide is that tire? Oh, they're fat boys, aren't they? Fat boy tires. Blue Moon beer. You do or don't do beer? I like Blue Moon. I like wheat beer. I think I have a mild wheat allergy though, meaning my neck sometimes gets red. Not uncomfortable or anything. It's just kind of, just something that happens. So I've been trying. I don't drink that much anyway, so I've been trying to not go for the wheat beer. Blonde ales. I'm a big fan of blonde ales. I avoid wine. Wine makes me all flushed and stuff. I don't dislike how it tastes. It's just something that just makes me feel yucky. So why have that when there's other things to have? And I'll have, if I have a beer too late, I end up having a massive, just not a massive, but an annoying headache the following day that I just can't seem to shake. I can have whiskey and go to bed and I'm fine. So I guess it just depends on. But I like to talk about drinking more than actually drinking. I just don't have much of a. Well, in practice, this was the right way to do it, but it actually didn't work out that great. We need to be a little bit more aggressive. There we go. Cut you out a spot. And this is easy to fix and fill in. I need to wash my hands. They're too greasy. What are you doing with greasy hands? I don't want to know. I didn't ask that. Never mind. Your hands are greasy. Everybody in the UK, all the UK viewers, that would be you, Ben. You guys watched that coronation? I don't even know what was going on yesterday. Yesterday or the day before or something like that. What did you drink? Finish it off? Yeah, I guess I did. I do beer, but more weed. Don't like hangovers. You can't get a hangover from weed? I don't know. Don't know anything about it. Okay, a little bit farther out, I think. I didn't even know that it was going on. I like how they made a big deal out of it. I saw an article today that he was trying to be. He was looking for a robe that was sustainable. It was a sustainable robe, so he was reusing somebody's robe. Never mind however many millions of pounds they spend a year trying to keep them around. That's not a waste, but reusing one robe is. Oh man. Won't win any awards, at least not in the pile of shame. You're approaching the hallowed grounds of not having miniatures unpainted and actually need to buy some. So it opens up all kinds of doors for possible projects. Yeah, just choose carefully so you're not stuck with something you don't need for 8 years. Hey, I've been there. I'm not throwing stones, you know. I get it. It happens to all of us. If it doesn't happen to you, then, you know, then you're lying. You're a liar. Okay, let's goop this bitch down. There's actually not a lot of die-cast vehicles in this scale to choose from. There really aren't. You know, because you basically need ones from the 30s. I don't even know if these are the right period. These might actually be a 1946 vehicle, and I just bent myself over, but you know, they're gonna look close enough that it works for me. Well, the convertible is actually a 1940 Ford, so somehow they needed to get one really quick and make it over to France before France fell, because they're not going to ship any new Fords over. You know, I mean, even though the Germans built Fords under license, I believe the Opel Blitzes are actually a Ford vehicle, and a lot of those. You know, they're not shipping new Ford convertibles over, you know, to the Nazis, I don't think. Now, the only catch with this is I haven't glued the axles so it doesn't roll, but I've done this before with moving wheels, and it wasn't an issue. Was it Henry V that used human hair shirt for his coronation? I don't know. A hair shirt? I don't know. I don't think that he was I don't think that Henry V was very monkish. That's something like a monk would do. It was like a shirt, a hair shirt. It's made of, basically, it's a shirt that's uncomfortable to wear, that you're constantly itching, so you can be in penance. I'm not a fan of shit like that. You know, say you are going to go to hell. There's no point in making it sooner. There's no point in bringing it on Earth. There'll be plenty of time for that. That's interesting. What if I did this? Ooh, I like that better. I like that better. It's kind of ugly, but it's supposed to be ugly. And these other ones, this one is all overall painted in the red and rock brown or whatever it's called. And this one's actually Dunkelgelb painted. So this light shade that's on here is the same color it's here. Here it looks white. Here it looks like a light tan. It's exactly the same. It's the same color. It's an AK color. I really like the AK paints for airbrushing. They behave really well. It's easy cleanup. They don't gum up. So forth. Big fan. So I've got to take that stuff and find out how big a box I need to put it in. They're like really anal about, don't use a box that's bigger than this, and I'll have to find it. So it might take me a couple weeks to do it. So I may do an unboxing video on. Did I not do an unboxing video on Men of Iron? Maybe I did. Maybe I did it in what I got at the convention. Maybe I did one of those things. Okay. Yeah, this should be just fine. And the resistance fighters. Let's get them the hell out of here. This is why I put magnets on them. It's easier to move them around. Less likely for something to go sideways. And I also have this old thing, which I don't think this is very useful. This is a 1935 Cadillac, made in Malaysia. I don't know if I use this. It'd definitely have to be some kind of a bigwig Nazi in there. Have to go assassinate him or something like that. Dirty Dozen type of thing. You know, there's people that they make aftermarket tires that make them look, more credible. But at some point, you've thrown a lot of problems at yourself that don't really need to be done. I took these cars apart on Saturday, and I had the easiest time ever taking them apart. I guess I used the right size drill bit, but and it didn't feel like I was going to kill myself, cut off my finger or something like that. But yeah, this is I might experiment with painting this up like some bigwig Nazi bastard needs to get driving around in that thing and take him out. Dirty Dozen game, yeah. I have to paint one guy as a black guy, right? I only remember the second. I've seen the first one. I saw the second one, I think, twice because it was on TV way back when, the late 80s. Late 80s don't seem like that long ago, but I guess they are. Yeah, all kinds of small unit actions. There's all kinds of stuff you can do. I thought I was actually going to get the heart to bring up Lion Rampant and play it this weekend, but just didn't feel it. Just didn't feel it. Face it, the 80s is a long time ago. I remember them really well. All right, be right back. Let me go get a beverage. Forged in Battle Miniatures. I'm pretty sure I won't be buying any 15s anytime soon. Or 20s either. I got plenty of these guys. I got plenty of these guys and guys that I like. It's not like I have a bunch of troops I don't want to paint. I think you did the right thing just putting away those figures you didn't want to paint, man. No point in painting stuff that sap your creativity. For sure. So, okay, how are we looking here? Pretty solid. Pretty solid. All right, let's bring out the tufts. Bring out the tufts. The shrubbery. One that's not too expensive. They have a bunch of, Noble Knight has a bunch of stuff from Foreground. But I don't know how I feel about the way that they make their roofs. Yeah, I ran out of these. I bought 2 packs of them. Lowland Shrubs. So I've been using on a lot of their vehicles and pretty happy with it. You know, I got a million other colors. It's time to break out the new one. So I ran out of Elmers that I've had a long time. And I thought it was pretty expensive to spend $8 for this. But then it's 4 times bigger than the other one that I had. So, yeah, probably not that expensive. This will last forever and a day. Get the extra strong formula. I don't know what about it makes it extra strong, but I figure I might as well get the one that's extra strong. It's the one I had before. I've been pretty happy with it, so. When in doubt, don't change what you've been using. Ah, yes. Oh, we got to do grass too. All right. Should be right there. I didn't put it back where it goes. Nice. be right there. And it isn't. It's a little cardboard box with a thing inside. It's right here, bastard. Alright, after I'm done with this, I'm picking this area up. I'm tired of picking shit up. I'm tired of bending over. I'm not getting paid to get bent over right now. I've been bending over all day long. Alright. Let's put this inside here like it's supposed to be. Hey Rick, I saw your video this morning that you did of this unboxing of the mixed media thing. You got a shitload of views on that, man. You did it like 2 days ago, and you got like 1,500 views or something like that. That's a lot of nerd burglars looking at that stuff. I mean nerd burglars because, you know, D&D stuff's definitely nerdier than this. We're at least learning real shit here. Like this stuff that really happened. Whatever you do, do not glue miniatures or anything you don't want stuck down with that Elmer's glue. It secures miniatures like no one's business. Really? The extra strong formula? And I have no confidence in Elmer's glue. I wouldn't use it just because I don't think it's going to stay down. I just don't think it's going to stay down. Let's put this one here, like it's about to be run over. And then this one right here. I'm afraid that building that I put together is going to fall apart when I start painting it. Hey, I hope I'm wrong. Yeah, that vid did great. I was kind of surprised as it wasn't tagged as D&D specifically. I read something recently that your tags don't mean shit. So I stopped spending a lot of time trying to put tags on my stuff. And I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but never can tell. Some people watch things that you don't think are that interesting, and some of your best stuff nobody watches, you know? I don't know, can't figure it out. But I don't think the price, I went and looked how much those things went for. I don't think that's a good value. And I was really disappointed. I was really disappointed that you got two of the same effing horse model and they're painted exactly the same way. It's like, come on, man, that's pretty lazy. You can get the Chinese people to do a better job than that. You know, all that stuff's made in China, so. Okay, I think that's what we're going to go with. And it looks like crap in this light. Yeah, the only thing, you know, the thing about Line Rampant is it's pretty easy to add things you want to it. I think the vehicles, the game, the figures not having any facing is a little extreme. I think you can just do a 180. You know, if you're behind them, you gotta. It's gonna cost you something to move them. But you know, I'm not gonna plan on running it in tournaments, so I can do whatever the hell I want. I will not be playing any more tournaments. And it's not because I had a bad tournament experience. It's just, you know, we've got some better ideas to make a better game and you can't do it. You could basically have to shut up because, you know, you're not going to be able to use it in a tournament. So, all right, let's clean this area up. Let's clean this area up because this is just super chaos. Yeah, I think the basing does too. And you know, I can go both ways. I'm not hard and fast on, you know, doing the basing. But, you know, the thing is I want them on a base because some vehicles have to be on a base. They're very flimsy. Very, very flimsy. Not that one that you saw, but, and then it just becomes, do you want some vehicles? Do you want flimsy vehicles on a base and other ones not? Well, I want to be consistent. So, and it allows you to paint some of the stuff, some of the environment that ties the vehicle in to the place where it happens to be in. And it also allows you to take the weathering that is on the base and dry brush that up into the vehicle, tying it into there as well. So, but some people are like, really like, you know, that's like a crusade for them. It's like, oh, I can't do vehicles that are based at all. Well, I could go either way on them, but some vehicles are just going to have to be on bases, you know. Now, the one thing that I'm probably not going to do is I'm probably not going to base my anti-tank guns. My anti-tank guns are probably going to be just sitting there because I don't want to put the crew members stuck on a base with them. The crew members will be, you know, because you might knock out the anti-tank gun and the guy's got to get away. Well, you know, you got to move the figures individually or what have you. All right, we got all kinds of loose stuff here. Always seems to be just, if I could just, you don't have to even put that much stuff away, just a few little things, and then it wouldn't be in your way when you come back to it. This is magnets, it doesn't need to be there. And I still probably have one of the clearest work areas of most people. That's not saying a whole lot. I just can't think if there's just too much stuff. You keep getting interrupted by things that don't matter. Okay, we don't need foreground. What's this? We don't need the barrel for the Panther. Instructions for the barrel of the Panther. We don't need this plastic bag here. And this is bits bin. Do enjoy watching guys beat each other up with their sticks. Toothless wonders. Toothless wonders. Who has the worst teeth, hockey players or boxers? Yes. Man, all these little, like, plastic bags and shit. This one, I think I've gotten my money's worth out of this sandpaper that you can see freaking through it. gotta take care of your teeth, folks. It's the first thing some of us notice. I do. That's one of the first things I notice. You don't have to have perfect teeth, but you don't need to have teeth that freaking ruin your appetite. There's this one restaurant that we used to go to for lunch sometimes, back when we used to take lunch with coworkers. Seems like a long time ago. But there was this one restaurant, this one lady that worked there. I'm using lady kind of loose. This is kind of like an alleyway. Honestly, look, I don't know what alley looks like, but I'm guessing it looks like this person. She's working in the food delivery, like she's bringing the food to you. She has one tooth in her skull. That's not good, you know? And I'm fine, just get freaking, get dentures, man. You know, you don't get to pick what your genes are sometimes. But man, don't scare little kids and stuff like that. Dentures aren't scary. Having one tooth in your skull is scary. In the teeth conversation, boxers, hockey players, and the alley enters the fray. Poor oral hygiene. Among other things. I'm sure there's people out there. Hold on, let me wait till you grab a seat. Till you're sitting down. Okay, I gotta sit down for this one too. There's probably people out there that never brush their teeth. I know that sounds crazy, but you know, I brush my teeth twice a day. I don't do it 3 times. I'm not bringing a toothbrush to freaking work. Okay, that's just stupid. Nobody does that. Not even the dentist does that. You know, but all right, we got cutting this stuff back. We got some little red stars, which are kind of fat little stars. Look like starfish, honestly. Worst part about dentures are hard to chew with them for some people. Can't use my lowers because of gum damage, so I can't chew with mine. Does it? So it affects what stuff you can eat? Yeah. Well, at least you're not scaring people, you know. I have good teeth. It makes up for my hearing. Huh? Exactly. Everybody's got something, you know. And we don't get to pick what it is that we get. But everybody in my family had good teeth. I had my dad's mom. She lived into her 90s, and she never had dentures. So, okay, we can go ahead and put this back on the cork. I used to have like 6 of these on here. I don't know where the hell they went to. I'm sure they're around here somewhere. Okay. Don't need this. I have sprue here. I'm not even going to save it. I'm not using stretch sprue. There's no point. I got wire. The wire works grand. Actually, I should keep. I can make more. Sometimes you just got to get rid of stuff. Sometimes you just, you know, we all keep too much shit. And I'm not saying about, you know, stuff that's legitimately garbage. Oh, that's a lovely sound, isn't it? I'm going to say you got the tag, didn't you? First off, I love that you took an actual picture and not a screenshot. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a man of my word. Told you I'd post that. Huh. I don't know what you're talking about. But you're having a good time. That's the rule. You got to come here and have a good time. I was talking yesterday, maybe it was the day before, about not putting up with people just being... Sarcasm is fine, but just some people are just pencil dicks. And I encountered one yesterday. He wanted to, like, you know, egg me on about something. So I just blocked him. F it, I ain't got time for you. Every time you come up, if you say something, it's just like, you know, just being a pain in the ass. And I'm not saying about none of you guys. You know, like you put a post that's, you know, helpful, and they want to turn it into something else. Nope, you get blocked. I don't listen to you. You could scream at the top of your lungs. You could, you know. You might be on fire, and I won't hear you. I guess you'll just have to burn to the ground. I won't be able to pee on you. You know. I pretty much have no tolerance for that. And somebody used to say, "Oh, it's because people are from England are that way." That's bullshit. No, that's a person. That's a person issue, not where they're from. Men beating each other with their sticks. Okay. You know one thing you can't find on the internet? I don't know, maybe you can find it. I bet there's not an AMSR video of men beating each other with sticks. Is it ASMR or AMSR? Anyways. You can't do AMSR or whatever the hell it's called with something that's very violent. It just kind of doesn't go, you know? It's got to be something soothing. You can't, you know, wallop somebody upside their head, you know, in a soothing manner. ASMR, okay. I didn't even know that was a thing. ASMR. That's like they whisper at you and stuff. I can't hear whisper stuff, man. Especially like in the movies. All I hear is like freaking saliva. Maybe that's what people like. That's saliva talking. We're working our way. We're cleaning this area up. It doesn't take that long. It would take even less if I was like disciplined and if I was more disciplined and to clean this area up. Here's the 2 pieces of wire. I'll put them there. It should be easy to find there. Did I show you guys the little tree thing that I did? Let me find something made of metal. Oh, this will do. This is a woodland scenics tree. It's kind of little one on the smaller side. I drilled the bottom of it. I took it off that stupid base that's too big. I drilled the bottom of it. I put one of these little rare earth magnets. They're the smallest ones that, I'm sure they probably make them smaller, but the smallest ones I can find on Amazon. And now the tree will stand up without a stupid base in the way. So I went to the store yesterday to see if there was some sheet metal, and they didn't have any that was magnetic. So I'm sure I could probably find like a garage sale sign. I'm sure there's a garage sale sign that's not aluminum, and that would be perfect. You know, it actually could be a little thick. You know, it doesn't have to be wafer thin where it can bend and stuff. But that's what I'm going to plan on doing with woods. And that way I don't have to have certain trees committed to certain pieces of woods. You could just reuse them all. You just added a new video ASMR. It's of someone playing with those gel bead things that expand in water. Huh. I guess people are into that. Not exactly what puts me to sleep, but hey, whatever works, whatever works. It's not like you're making them make the video. They decided to make it on their own. You're just capitalizing on it. You know? You like the modular magnetic woods. Phrasing is everything. Not going to comment on what Tony just said. You got excited over wood, huh? Leafy wood. Now we'll do some dry brushing on this, make it stand out a little bit, and that should be all it does. You know, it'll look a lot better, and it'll be a lot more flexible, versatile. More than flexible. Okay, we've cleared off enough stuff now that now we can go back to regularly scheduled operations. All right, well, we got these two things. Is this the second chocolate brown or the first one? Werewolf fur. I don't even think about using that stuff anymore. The Army Painter paints, I'm not a fan. I'm just not. Here's both of them. They can't both be out. Well, they could, but... No, let me not do that. Let's finish one and then do the other one. This one ought to do. Can I even get one inside of those dropper bottles? Do you ever use those metal ball? Yes, I do. Yes. You take the lid off, so this part comes off, and yeah, you can do it. There's one in here. Well, hold on. It's this one. I better stop that, or Nordic's gonna get excited. Oh shit! He'd get excited about this sound too. Hey, whatever floats your boat, man. As long as you're an adult, a consenting adult, and I don't have to watch if I don't want to, then it's all good. ASMR right there. Now, hold on. It's Nordic's favorite sound. And it's not because it's cleanliness either. The sound of one hand clapping. There probably is somebody out there that gets turned on by clean. Hey. One person that gets turned on by clean, there's 20 that get turned on by dirty. Just saying. Yeah, so that video that you did, Rick, I really like those doors. Those doors are really cool. He's being quiet, very quiet right now. Maybe he's just trying to finish up. Jeez, give the guy 30 seconds. Those doors look really good. It's just weird. That set was really weird. There was a lot of stuff that was really high quality and some stuff that just wasn't, you know? And I just don't understand the mixed media thing. It doesn't make any sense. Either, you know, those two-dimensional figures are actually okay. There was one of the vendors at the show that was selling them. Got World of Fun or Woa Fet, or I don't know what it is. Is it World of Fun? They do those two-dimensional Lexan is what I wanted to call them. The clear plastic stuff. Figures. They actually look pretty good. Yeah, the doors look really good. I was surprised that like even would swing open and everything. That's pretty cool. One of the stores here in town has a fair amount of that stuff. I went in there looking for tufts. And I'm like, I'm gonna walk around and see what else they had. And they actually carry now gamer's grass, the gamer's grass tufts as well. But they were out of all the normal colors. They had like, you know, blue stuff for like alien planets. You know, it's quite likely that even if there are plants on alien planets, they're not blue. I'm just saying, you know. You know, there's some of those alien planets that are a little too loud, you know? Hearst Arts, man, I remember those things. Remember when they were pushing like making your own molds and stuff, and you'd plaster Paris and all that shit? What was the company that did do all the dungeon stuff? And his stuff actually looked pretty good. And they were like little tiles, but the tiles, they weren't super thick. They were maybe this thick. Maybe this thickness. What would that be? 3 mil? 5 mil? I want to say it's called Dungeon something or another. Their stuff actually looks pretty good, pre-painted. Dwarven Forge. I don't think that's the one I was thinking of. There's another one. Might be dated by today's standards. Okay, where to next? Well, we have 2 vehicles left, and they both have interiors. Let's do the other truck. Let's do this one that's in the red. It's funny because back in the day, this is not the color I would use for the red. I would have used something like, no, not that either. Closer to this. A little bit more brown than that, but definitely a rusty like color. Not that, but hey, you know, the information that we know changes. Just fill out my pleasure managers for Dwarven Forge. Let's just say I'll be eating off the dollar menu for a while. Do they still have a dollar menu? Eric Gray. Welcome back, man. All right. Let's not use that. I'm fine using the leather brown. It doesn't just needs to have some color inside there. Yeah, so I was looking through Noble Knight, and there's all kinds of stuff that they have. I've gotten stuff from them unintentionally, like eBay bids or something. Like, oh, I want one of the. What do they have? I think they were the ones that had the Panzer IIIs or something like that. No, the Panzer IIIs came from Brookhurst. From Brookhurst through eBay or Amazon. I guess the black is kaput. They call it a $1, $2, $3 menu, though everything on it is mostly closer to $3 range. Yep. They're still running that thing where it's like any size soda was $1. I'll just take the small one. What are you, a moron? What's worse than ordering a small soda? Ordering a small soda when a large one costs the same amount. You've done enough business with Noble Knight Games to know I will continue to do business with them. Well, have you seen their video of the person that does the walkthrough? Pretty crazy. That's a huge place. $1 drinks to $1.39. Of course I believe it. The dollar store is no longer the dollar store. You know what I like? I love what the dollar store is called in England. You know what the dollar store is called? Poundland. Only thing better than that is have a store called Poundland. Where's this? Man, how do you get into that place? What do you mean? I said, I don't see any doors. Oh, they're around back. The doors on Poundland are in the back of the building. What a great frickin' name. I love it. Powerland. Enter through the rear. That's right. Welcome to Poundland. That's right. Oh, we have some sign of life. Yes. Don't don't need to spend an inordinate amount of time on the details inside this vehicle because they're not going to be seen. But if you do happen to catch a glimpse, there needs to be something that's kind of the appropriate color. Okay, I think that'll do. This is the one that has the weird grill. Okay, let's rinse this out. Rick, you should do a test. Since you do enough videos and you've got other people that play games with you, you should try putting a test video out there that involves you playing some games, because you've got some female players, and see if you get more views because of that. I bet you would. I'm not that you lack views. I'm just saying that, you know. Except you can't have the video with you know, she that will not be named in it. I have a feeling if she found out that you filmed her, and you did better, you wouldn't be able to she wouldn't be able to live that down. You wanted to get your sister involved. Yeah, I'm surprised you have a sister that wants to play games. Actually, I have a sister that wants to play games. I do not want her in a video. She's she'll talk your ear off. She's something else. And I am not very good at explaining stuff. I'm just not, you know. Maybe if it's like my painting techniques or stuff like that, or if you guys ask me questions specific to the hobby, yes. But like, here's this game. Let's watch Tony explain the... Nah, I'll end up repeating stuff that doesn't need to be repeated. You know, if I have an outline, sure, but I don't want to do homework, you know. Your sister play any battle games, or just the, you know, counting how many wings on the ferry kind of thing? What? There's games like that. Ferry wing counting games. Where the hell is the lights on this thing? Oh, this is the one that has the chassis. That's a pain to deal with. Oh. And we have this too. This goes in here. All right, we're going to brown this out as well. Mostly to hang out. She just comes over for the bush light. Man, we got to get you guys some better beer out there in Oklahoma Stan. On Friday, we got some friends of ours that are visiting from out of town. We took them to this little place that it's kind of a little mom and pop restaurant that has outdoor seating and sometimes has live music. And They had some freaking great beer there. One of my favorites is the stuff that's made in Orlando. It's called Orange Blossom Pilsner. And it is outstanding. Oh, I didn't put the this thing on it, right? This is the one that goes with this? Yes. Guess I'll have to paint it black. Cue the music. Not interested in miniatures. Rick, you have a shitload of games. Do you have a game called Empire Builder? It's a railroad. It's one of those railroad games with crayons. And if you don't know what that is, Empire Builder. They made fantasy rails. There's other ones, but they're not called Empire Builder. Empire Builder could be anything. Be like, oh, you play Romans. No. You're building track in crayon and carting stuff across the country. You do not own Empire Builder. It's a great game. No combat in it at all. What about games that I like to have no combat? Vegas Smackdown or Vegas something or another. It's one of the latest Avalon Hill ones before they went under. Vegas Showdown or something like that, where you build a casino. You build on pieces to build a casino. That's a great game. Vegas Showdown. It's a fun game. Yeah, Euro games. They call them Euro games, but they're really German games. Most of them. They're not combat related. No combat in them. Well, some of us want to play military games because our ancestors weren't Nazis. So we don't feel like we've got to feel embarrassed by trying to take over the world. I generally don't like games that have a lot of bidding. And the reason why is they're not new player friendly. There's a game that was very popular many years ago. I don't know if it still is, and it's called Raw. I absolutely hate the game. All it is bidding. And the problem is that, it's easy to understand the concept of bidding, but you just don't know if you're new to it, what things are really worth and at what time do you spend the money for them. And those two things are not newbie friendly. And I'm telling you because I've been a newbie before. And if you have a new player, you want them to be competitive. I mean, I do. Otherwise, why play a game if you know you're going to win? I mean, I guess some people do that, but there's a cool little game called, it's a 2-player game called, I think it's called Dynasties. And it's a Chinese type game where you have these zones that are to control and you kind of bid on what you're going to do in each one. And it's a simple game, but it's blocks and stuff like that. And it looks good. It's like a map of China, but there's, blocks as well. So, Stone Age, never heard of it. Seems like you ought to be fighting mammoths or something like that. One person's first game's their only game. What's the point? They don't stand a chance. I agree, Yeah. First time I played, the last board game I played was a game called, I don't know what it's called actually. It's like Star Wars Outer Rim. There's a Star Wars game, and you play a mercenary, and you go around and you do objectives. And, you know, first time I played it, I won. You know, but it was a game that I was enjoying playing it. So if I hadn't won, it wouldn't have mattered. It was the process of going through what you needed to do was entertaining. It wasn't like, oh, man, this game's only good if I win. Alhambra. Let's get the Prussian blue out. What if there's somebody out there that, oh no, that's too good of a brush, that only plays those games where you have to have the person to switch a turncoat. Like, all they like to do is play games like our favorite, which is Battlestar Galactica or Shadows of Camelot. That's all they like to do is play those kind of games. Ticket to Ride is kind of poor man's Empire Builder. It's kind of like Empire Builder with less choices. Yeah, I hate the Hidden Trader games. It's like, welcome, you have to be a dick. Like, what if I don't want to be, you know? Again? I think the problem that I have with it is I don't want to have I don't like to convince. It's not my personality to try to convince people that I'm not the guy when I'm really the guy, you know? Yeah. I don't enjoy telling people, trying to convince them, being dishonest. I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy being dishonest. Now I don't have a problem with a game where, you know, it's a co-op game and somebody's got to win. So at the last minute, in the last turn, you backstab somebody. You know, because somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose. But I'm not spending the whole game convincing people. No, it's not me that's voting those things in when it really is. That's just, I don't like that. It's not, you know, it's just not who I am. I'd make a terrible salesperson, wouldn't I? Lords of Waterdeep. That sounds like Lord of the Dance. Oh, Snapdragon. Which way is it? Is it lighter towards the bottom? Yes. Lighter towards the bottom. Like this one. That lighting in here is terrible for the camera. Another old game I absolutely hated was a game called Magic Realm. I think it's an Avalon Hill game. An old game that somebody I know recently said, hey, I wish they'd reprint that. If it's the one I'm thinking of, right? It's got little circles And they can be one or two sides, and if they're on the wrong side, you can't cast something. Talk about frustrating. Is that the one I'm thinking of? And it has like freaking horrible colors. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong game. Is it Magic Realm? I don't like games that are heavy on magic. Maybe I'm not thinking of the right game. I'm not thinking of the right game. Eric, wasn't it your brother that suggested? I think it was your brother that was suggesting. I think it was Scott that said, "Hey, why don't we make it?" Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong game. I better make sure because Magic Realm game. Oh, it's Magic. Why didn't you type? Damn it, man. Matt. Oh, it's not letting me type. What's going on with this? Okay, screw you. Open another tab. There we go. Magic Realm game. Because you said it was complicated, and this game isn't complicated. Well, the cover looks like the right one. Yeah. You know, it looks vaguely familiar, but there's a lot of stuff going on there, and I don't remember the game having all that stuff. So maybe it isn't that game. Maybe it isn't Magic Realm, the one I'm thinking of. Because I don't remember all that stuff, all those little encounters and stuff, you know, like an ogre and all that stuff. I don't remember that. I don't remember. I don't remember, Matt. I don't think it's this one. I misrepresented the game that I thought was like that. It had tiles. And I want to say the tiles were round. Game with tiles like Magic Realm. And the colors in it were just sucky. And I don't think it was Magic Realm because there's a lot of like creatures, and I don't remember there even being encounters or something like that. It looked like Ugly Catan, if I remember correctly. No, I don't know what game I was thinking of, but that's not it. An uglier Catan, which is saying a lot. No. Wiz War? Pretty unbelievably complex. What about did Avalon Hill make a fantasy game like that? I want to say it was an Avalon Hill game. Because Magic Realm is not Avalon Hill. It's not that one. Because that one looks like, man, it could lay all kinds of different ways. Wiz War. Let's see what the name doesn't sound familiar. Wiz War board game. It's got to be an old game. It's got to be an old game. No, that's not it. No. Okay, how about Avalon Hill? I think it was Avalon Hill game. Avalon Hill Magic game. Magic board game. Let's see what we get. It is an Avalon Hill game. Okay. Maybe it was magic. I don't know. I just don't remember all those encounters and stuff. Rick, you're a Lego fan. You got any of those Heroica games? If it's Magic Realm, I really misremember it. Because I'm looking at the pictures of Magic Realm, and it doesn't look crappy to me, you know? I mean, it looks like the map could lay out in all kinds of interesting ways. You know, you want to get over to this tile, but you got to go around your elbow to get there, you know? I played it twice, I didn't like it. You do have 4 Heroica games. Okay, I've got 3. I've got the base one. I got the base one. Drada. And the Dracula one. Which is Illyrion. I got them when my daughter was little. I got them when, let's see, when she was 10. And we played them a couple times. I think that they have a lot of potential, especially if you make your own rules for them. I think they look pretty good, even though they don't have any hands. Yeah, I don't think the game that I said I didn't like was Magic Realm because I don't remember play with this particular person that I played games with. He was anti-complicated games. I like complicated games. I don't like abstract games, but I do like games that are complicated. Abstract games are just hard for me to understand. I don't speak abstract. All right, we already got some brown color here, so that one will do. Yeah, the Lego dice. You could throw that at somebody. Come here, get it. You know, it'll bounce. It's got like bouncy corners. Don't want to play with a Lego dice and Mitch. I'll never find it. Any of you guys ever played Hero Quest? No. What's that collectible superhero game? Hero Clicks. Any of you guys ever played Hero Clicks? That thing is like ripe for making your own rules. Just ripe for that. I don't like the collectible aspect of it. Honestly, I got into it because my daughter was into superheroes. I've never really been into superheroes. Ah, Snapdragon. I forgot to do something else. Let's do the little windows on the side. I thought the turn order is just too predictable. Just needs some different initiative system. That and I wanted to paint some. You know, repaint them. Because the miniatures are actually pretty decent looking. If you could just get the thick paint off of them. Mage Knight, yeah. It didn't, Is WizKids Owned by Wizards of the Coast. It is, isn't it? It's not. Interesting. So, I had something that happened the other day, and I'm going to mention it because I know Rick watched this. And I tried to watch that Dungeons and Dragons movie the other day, figuring it was going to be garbage. Okay, I couldn't watch it. Is it the method I was watching? It didn't have subtitles. I was missing everything. I'm like, okay, this is going to have a lot of tongue-in-cheek shit in it, and I'm going to miss all of it. So I've got to wait till I can watch it in a way that has subtitles on it. But I was really disappointed because I was looking forward to watching that. It was the other day. It was Saturday or something like that. The day I was on here, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go watch a movie with my daughter. That's where we're gonna go watch. And there's a special place in hell for whoever invented a television with the speakers that face towards the back, where it's gonna rebound off the wall. But ultimately, that doesn't make that much of a difference because I set up the sound bar, which I don't normally use. I just can't make out. I couldn't make out anything Chris Pine said. Nothing. And I'm like, okay, I got to stop watching it because it's just going to piss me off. You know, Marvel Crisis, nice looking miniatures, but I'm not a comic guy. If they are, that is another company I'll be boycotting. After the Pinkerton stuff with Wizards of the Coast, I'm utterly through with any of their games and products. Also Hasbro as well. Pinkerton. That whole business of making your own thing, and never mind, we own the rights to this. That's our intellectual property. Thanks for making stuff that expands it, but this is now ours. Yeah, that's a bit. I don't know what I'd call that. That's like next level pee touching right there. Not cool. YouTubers got sent a set of magic cards by mistake that were not out yet. He did a video on them, and then Wizard of the Coast sent the Pinkerton to his house to intimidate and threaten him. You can't do that shit in Oklahoma. You can get shot. Or Florida. Come intimidate me at my house. Yeah, if it's my hobby, nobody's telling me how to do it. I don't tell other people how they have to do things. Let's go back to the blue since I didn't do a good job remembering the little side windows. Get that as well. Yeah, it's like if I made YouTube videos for DBA and the author of DBA says, "Hey, I don't want you promoting my work that I sell." Maybe it's a little different, but if that game when I was remembering was Magic Realm, then we definitely didn't play it right. Because the game being really complex like that would appeal to me. Would have always appealed to me. All right. Well, we got to call it out because I've got to go say goodbye to some folks that are visiting.